tell us a lot about what they're thinking, what their approach is. I think they're going to be conservative and patient, but as you get closer to this draft, the trade talks will heat up. Maybe the price comes down on some trade prices about me moving up, moving back, whatever it is. So it's just going to be interesting to see how things play out between now and when they start making picks at 8 o'clock on Wednesday.
Absolutely, man. And the trade moratorium had lifted yesterday, and things got off to a quick start when CP3 was traded to the Phoenix Suns. Now, it was always rumored that the Knicks were said to be interested in CP3, but the way this Phoenix trade kind of transpired so quickly, there was talk that Sam Presti had kind of helped CP3's team get this trade to Phoenix. From your perspective, do you think this was a situation where the Knicks weren't willing to meet, the package that Phoenix was offering, or was this a case where CP3 had kind of put Phoenix on his list of priorities over the Knicks?
I think, it was certainly what you said first, which was I never got the sense that the Knicks were willing to give up a package that would have equaled what Phoenix gave up to OKC there. But also something interesting that I'd heard was people with the Suns, like shortly before the trade, maybe a couple days before the trade, they expressed pessimism about the idea that they were going to get Chris Paul to, people in the basketball community. So I think what happened was maybe they had an offer. They didn't think OKC wanted the offer, was interested in the offer. And then for whatever reason, maybe Sam Presti felt that, hey, this is a good offer. It's the best I'm going to get. Let's do it. But also he has a history of getting stars to where they want to go. You talk about Westbrook and you talk about Paul George, Carmelo too. I mean, so he has sent big name players from OKC to their preferred destination. So I'm sure that Chris Paul wanting to be in Phoenix had something to do with it. But I don't know if it was as much Phoenix over New York as it was Phoenix showing him that he can win there and he can be impactful there. And I wonder if Phoenix doesn't have the showing that they had in the bubble if we're having the same conversation tonight.
Yeah, there's certainly some recency bias there, but I like that acquisition by Phoenix. I feel like Devin Booker deserves to be on that playoff stage. So good pickup for them. Now, another guy who you had mentioned that the team held in sort of the same regard as CP3 is Russell Westbrook. What are you thinking? What are you hearing on the Russell Westbrook rumors at this moment?
Yeah, I was told that the approach with Chris Paul was similar to Russell Westbrook. I think one of the ideas is that I don't think people want to give up the kind of assets that would leave the Knicks without enough assets to be in play for the next big trade or the next star that maybe becomes available via trade. I think that's part of the thinking, at least from some people over there, is they didn't want to give up a lot for Chris Paul, or they don't want to give up a lot for Russell Westbrook. That would leave themselves not being able to be in conversations for the next player, whoever it may be. And so if that kind of holds firm here, I would expect them, not to be throwing out, like, certainly not multiple first-round picks, maybe a future first that they feel would be, in the late first round. Maybe they're comfortable with that, but certainly nothing that, would cause them to, like, empty the cupboard for Russell Westbrook. And I think a lot of what this is going to come down to is Houston's comfort and appetite for having either one disgruntled star or two disgruntled stars on their roster during the season. If they're comfortable with that, then they can wait because they're not under any obligation to trade these guys. If they're not comfortable with that, if they want to give Steven Silas, a normal situation to work with from day one, then they will pull the trigger and they won't get as much as they would if they were able to hold out a little more.
Yeah, that was my other question because this Harden to the net stuff is just killing me. I can't.
Oh, man,
I can't stomach it too much. But
that hurts you guys. Right?
Yeah, big time, man. But how much do you think the Harden trade kind of weighs in on maybe Houston's asking price for Westbrook? If they're able to unload Harden to Brooklyn, the Houston kind of maybe come down on their request in a more desperation mode to offload Westbrook.
Well, I think one thing that would happen, you guys are alluding to it, is the idea that Houston could have some leverage now because they could say, "No, we're keeping these guys. We're trying to run it back." But the second you get off of Harden, then I think teams know that, okay, Westbrook, they want to get rid of him, so we don't have to offer as much. And maybe it's also true the other way. If you did Westbrook first, you know you're getting off Harden. But I think it's more so you do Harden first, then teams know you want to get off Westbrook. So the order there is going to be interesting from a leverage perspective. Bobby Marks was talking about it on ESPN, and he said, and this made sense to me, but you could look at it from both ways. He said, you think you do Harden first because then if you did Westbrook first, you lose your leverage with Harden. Mm-hmm. So the order there is going to be interesting, but obviously Harden has put the Rockets in a tough spot by, according to reports, and I've confirmed this with a few people, that he just sees the Nets as a destination. And when you do that, other teams are not going to be willing to give up a ton for a player who doesn't want to be there. So it's just going to be an interesting dynamic there in Houston, and it's going to have ripple effects for the whole league.
Domino effect indeed, man. So, off-season wise, trade, free agency, you have CP3 out of the picture. Westbrook, we're not so clear on. Where do you think from the point guard perspective, outside of the draft, where do you think they may go, for a veteran presence or just an upgrade at the position, man? I really think it's important that we get a floor general that can really help make this team better.
Right. So if we're talking about it's not Westbrook, then, you mentioned it actually, CP, on your show. I heard in recent days that Utah, there's been, I think, teams poking around on Conley. Right. So, that's maybe somebody that the Knicks look into if the situation makes sense. So I think you look there. If you look at Tom Thibodeau and his history, DJ Augustine down in Orlando, he and Thibodeau, I think they have a strong relationship. So you look there. And then, beyond that, you look at Fred VanVleet, and I think he's going to end up back in Toronto. And just from conversations and the idea that now with Phoenix not having the cap space because Chris Paul is there, they lose a team that would be in the Fred VanVleet market. So I think they end up back in Toronto. So I don't think he's going to be an option. So I don't. Chris Dunn is kind of interesting to me. Obviously you don't see him as an upgrade, but maybe he's just the younger player that you could take a flyer on, and you could see if you get him in your program and help him reach his potential. Then that's a win for your organization. But I don't think there's an obvious answer to that outside of the draft if we're not talking about Westbrook.
So with VanVleet, as you said, Phoenix is out of the picture. You have Detroit sitting there with cap space, but I don't think anybody really wants to go to Detroit. So you think there's a certain number there that the Knicks have for VanVleet? Or what do you think their interest is in him, or their priority is for him?
Yeah, I don't know specifically the number, but the sense that I had gotten from a few people was that I don't think they would be blowing a Toronto offer out of the water, something that was reasonable, a reasonable offer from Toronto. I don't think the Knicks were gonna come over the top and offer $4 or $5 million more annually if Toronto came in and said, hey, we're gonna give you 20, 22 annually. I don't see the Knicks blowing that away, and because of that, that's part of the reason why I think he will end up back in Toronto. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe the Knicks, they see that we can't get Russell, we want a point guard. Let's go crazy. Let's give Fred VanVleet a huge 2-year deal. But just based on the stuff that I was hearing over the last few weeks, I'd be surprised if that happened.
Interesting. Another guy that could potentially shake loose. Drew Holiday was traded from the Pelicans to the Bucks. The Pelicans now have Bledsoe. They now have George Hill in tow. Are you hearing anything about Lonzo Ball and his future in New Orleans?
What I would look to there is to see what New Orleans does on draft night, because I know that they have interest. Some people there really like a point guard that's projected to go ahead of where they are at 13. So let's say they trade up for that player, or the player slides back to 13. If they draft a point guard, then that they're at least not fully committed to the idea of signing Lonzo Ball this summer, whatever the offseason is going to be, as a restricted free agent. So that'll be a tell. So I think you'll have more clarity on that situation after draft night. People speculate about, they're not committed to him long term. Maybe they want to wait and see what he does this year and decide that way. But I think if they go point guard, I think you could be pretty sure that
He's going.
Lonzo, they would have trade talks for Lonzo because you're not going to lose him for nothing.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea, J Ellis. You certainly finished the season off strong. I think he finished his last 10 was 14-8, 43% from downtown. Turns the ball over a little bit too much, but I don't think Lonzo would be a bad idea. What do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like the shooting has improved that much. He plays defense, he competes, and fast breaks are going to help RJ run up and down the floor. So I would love Lonzo here. But question to you, though.
Let me ask one more. Sorry, Jay. I'll add one more thing on the point guard situation. I do think that, there are people there with the Knicks that would like to see Dennis Smith Jr. kind of get another run here and see what they have in him. Whether I don't think it's a starting role, maybe it's a backup role, but I think they want to leave room for him to earn minutes. Some people do. So I just think that's a piece of the puzzle there when you talk about the point guard position. Because if those people, kind of win out, or if they have the majority opinion there, then that's going to dictate what they do at point guard, because you want to leave a lane for Dennis Smith Jr. to try to get minutes in your rotation.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you, Ian, because, we've heard rumors that Tom Thibodeau is a fan of Dennis Smith Jr., and we have Elfrid Payton here, we have Dennis Smith Jr. here, and we also have Frank Ntilikina. So if we do get a guard, do you have a sense of who might be the odd man out of that rotation?
Yeah, it's a great question. My assumption, would be that they don't pick up the option on Elfrid Payton if you draft a guard or you acquire one in free agency, because that is the easiest, I guess, path of least resistance if you need to get a point guard off the roster. But there are scenarios that, as of maybe it was a week ago, 10 days ago, I heard that there were scenarios where they would keep Elfrid Payton, and then obviously could be a valuable trade chip for them, whether it's now or before the deadline this season. So that was one thing they were talking about. But I think Payton would be the easiest one to kind of cut loose. Obviously, with Frank and Dennis, you would have to find a trade partner.
Well, Ian, we got 1,300 people going strong in the chat right now, but the Payton topic, we might have lost a couple, man. The chat might not be too thrilled with the Elfrid Payton return. No offense to him, but like I said, I just want to upgrade, Ian. It's been too long with the patchwork, and until we get a dynamic playmaker at any other position, the point guard is going to be critical to the success of the overall team. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that has to be first and foremost among the decision makers over there, is solidifying that position.
Yeah. Before we get to draft, just rapid fire and a couple other of the top free agents. Christian Wood. You hearing anything about him?
My guess is he goes back to Toronto.
Detroit?
Toronto. Yeah, excuse me. My guess is he goes back to Detroit. I know they want him back. I think, people kind of surveying the market for Christian, other teams feel like the Knicks will be a threat. But I think it's kind of similar to VanVleet, at least that's my sense, is like if Detroit came with a strong offer, I don't see the Knicks going over that like heavily in a way that would cause Wood to turn down more money. So that's my read on it. I haven't heard anything that would lead me to believe differently, but if I do, I certainly will write about it. But that's how I see it right now.
My guy, the Rooster, Danilo Gallinari. There's some talk that there's 2 Eastern Conference teams that have an offer out there for him. We know Miami's was hot after him from last year. He said he wants to play for something real. Where do you think Danilo ends up?
So I think, if the Knicks, let's say they traded for Chris Paul, right? And they told Danilo, hey, we're going to get XYZ. We're going to be ready to compete, at least for a playoff spot next year. I think they can make a strong case to Danilo Gallinari that, hey, come here, like we'll do a sign and trade, or we'll sign you, and you could be a part of something competitive here. I don't think that they're going to be able to convince Gallinari on that. So I think Miami's certainly a team that a lot of people are talking about. I think now with specifically with Miami with Giannis,
right?
Everyone's guessing. The best guess would be he stays in Milwaukee after what they did last night. So Miami, but also Dallas. Like, I wonder if now they feel like there's no need for us to really go crazy with keeping our 2021 cap space open. Do they make a stronger play for Gallo? And I think in a perfect world, one of those LA teams, would be in the mix. I think he would give consideration to one of those LA teams, but just it doesn't work. I don't see how it would work roster-wise mathematically.
How about Davis Bertans?
I think DC, he's going to go back. And I can't tell you that I've talked to a lot of people about that, so I don't have a lot of insight on Davis. But I just, Washington people have talked about he'll be back. We want him back. So I think that'll be the way that goes. The thing about, not actually specific to Bertans, but also to other players, like talk about Obi Toppin. And I just wonder, like Thibodeau, he's going to have a voice, right, for these personnel decisions. Is he going to want a player who doesn't look like he could be a strong defender?
Right.
Yeah. That's the thing that I wonder about. So you talk about a guy like Bertans, like I can't see, and I'm just guessing, I can't see Thibodeau like pounding the table saying, we got to sign this guy. He's going to play defense. So it's just going to be interesting to see how that factors into where things go for New York.
I'm thinking Marcus Morris, man. We was talking about this behind the scenes, CP.
A Mook reunion?
Marcus Morris returning?
Well, before, you guys know this, before Leon Rose took over, the plan was to bring him back. I think on like a 3-year deal, like he was coming back. And then Leon Rose came on, and I think, that I certainly wouldn't rule it out. I think probably depends somewhat on other teams' interest in Marcus and the way things go, obviously, for the Knicks. But I wouldn't rule it out because there are a lot of people who were in the Knicks organization before Leon Rose took over who are still there and they're in positions of influence. And I'm not talking specifically about Scott Perry, but other people. So there are certainly Marcus Morris fans. I think those people value the way he kind of could handle, the New York media, not media. I don't want, because I hate when people say it. I just say the market, like the fans, the media, everything. It's a little bit more than you get in other places. And they feel like he handled it well. Feel like he was good for the young guys. So just based on that alone and the idea that they wanted it to happen before Leon took over, I certainly think that both sides will kick the tires and see what's going on. And obviously his brother too, I think, is free. So
yeah. And his brother's served to be a much more efficient player as well. I think I'd bring Keith in here, J Ellis, before I bring Mook back.
Really?
Yeah, only because they cannibalized RJ a little bit too much, man. I like Mook. I like him a lot.
Frank want to be a dog, CP.
I liked him a lot, man. I thought Keith was a better, more efficient of the twins, if you will.
CP, you're gonna get the Morris family coming after you. That's tough.
Do not second that. I'm just telling you.
That's tough, man. My number one target, Ian, and it's not sounding too great, is Joe Harris out of Brooklyn. I'm waiting to see what Brooklyn does to see if he can shake loose. They're saying Atlanta's hot after him. What are you hearing about Joe Harris at the moment?
Yeah, all the teams that have cap space. I don't know about Detroit as much, but certainly Atlanta. I think of Charlotte too, but I think at the end of the day, he's going to be back there. I think they'll do what it takes to get him back. Money-wise, they value him a lot. Maybe the Harden situation somehow.
Yeah, I'm hoping that changes things.
Throws things out of the way they think everybody thinks it's going to go, but no, I think he'll be back there.
Damn.
And I would say this: the teams that kind of are monitoring his situation, I think they also kind of have that assumption.
I expect that. Okay. To the draft, Knicks are sitting at 8. Tomorrow night is D-Day. Well, what would you say they feel would be the best case scenario at number 8?
You hear a lot about Obi Toppin and how he has fans in the organization. And so, reporters I respect have said that. Non-reporters I've talked to have said that. So I don't have a reason to not believe it. The reason that I scratch my head a little bit is because of the defense that we talked about, but maybe that's a non-issue. The other players, Halliburton, I think if he's there at 8, he certainly has fans in the organization. The interesting thing to me, though, is, there's been, I think Mark Berman of the Post, Steve Popper of Newsday reported about Devin Vassell. And I think Vassell, Knicks people are high on him. I think he'll be there at 8, no matter what happens. Yeah. So Okoro, is he there at 8? I don't know, but I think it's Vassell over Okoro. At least that's my read on it right now, because Vassell can shoot. and Okoro, maybe he turns out to be a good shooter, but you don't know. I mean, and Vassell, like, he showed a lot on the defensive end of the floor at Florida State. But obviously, so much of it is predicated on what happens ahead of the Knicks. You can't predict what those teams ahead of the Knicks are going to do. You can't predict whether a Russell Westbrook trade is going to go through between now and the draft. And you can't predict whether, again, the price goes down to move up and the Knicks decide to do that, or there's a good deal to be made behind them and they decide to move back. But I think if they're at 8 and one of those 4 are there, and you got to throw Killian Hayes in there too. I don't know where he's going to end up.
How about Lewis? Where do you think they stack Lewis up against the wings?
Say again, CP.
Where do you think they stack Kira Lewis up against a Vassell or a Coro?
Well, they like Kyra Lewis a lot, and I said Kira, but it is Kyra, so I got to correct.
Yeah, I always mess that up too. Me too. I always
so I heard that they like him a lot. He did well in the workout, and just based on I think it would be a tremendous pick just based on what coaches down there talk about he could do on defense and kind of his passion for the game. And I think, Tom Thibodeau, just people on Kyra's side say Thibodeau would love him. So I think it'd be a fantastic fit. I don't know, like, teams have said like they would take Kyra over Halliburton. I don't know if the Knicks feel the same way. I don't know, because they've done a really good job of keeping things close to the vest. But it would surprise people, I think, if they took Kyra at 8, but it could be a home run pick. Certainly if they traded back, Kyra's there. I think that's the guy. I think he definitely he has people who really like him over there. But I think Phoenix also, probably not now with Chris Paul. That's probably not going to happen. But before the Chris Paul trade, they liked him a lot. So It'll be interesting to see where he goes. Him at 8, I would be fascinated by that pick. I would just be, maybe they think that the safer route would be to go with somebody else. Like
a Vassell. The trade back is very interesting. I look at Boston, who has 3 first-round picks and may not be able to field all of them. There's talk that they're high after Okongwu. Knicks sitting there at 8. Maybe the Hawks, get involved at 6. Do you think the Knicks are considering a potential trade back to 14? Or just within that range?
I really think, because I haven't heard anything to lead me to believe otherwise, that everything's still on the table. And so, conversations leading up to 7 o'clock, whatever, the dynamics will change, the price will change on things. And so I don't think anything's been ruled out. Another player that could be in that area, Tyrese Maxey, obviously Kenny Payne knows him well. I think other people appreciate his game and what he could be at the next level. So that's somebody I would keep an eye on. I know Mike Vorkanoff of The Athletic reported that Sadiq Bey worked out in person for the Knicks.
Right.
So if they trade back, maybe he's there. So a lot of it depends, though, on kind of what they see with the point guard position and what happens between now and when they make their pick. Because I think you start there. But if you feel like you could get a point guard next year, or you feel strongly about getting one in a trade, and then you go Vassell or Okoro at 8, then maybe, I just think that has to be taken into account. We don't know which way they're going to go there with the point guard position.
Yeah.
But I think if you look at 27, right? The one thing that I found so interesting was Paul Biancardi. He's the ESPN national recruiting director for basketball. And he sees these kids when they're in 9th grade and watches them throughout high school. And he also played for Tibbs at Salem State. So he knows Tibbs. He knows a Tibbs kind of player. And he thinks that Jamie's – I'm going to butcher his first name, and I apologize.
Oh, Jameis Ramsey.
Jameis Ramsey, Texas Tech. He thinks Tibbs would love him. And he thinks, like, at that spot, maybe it's a little bit of reach, but he really thinks that he would be really strong for the Knicks program. And he also loves Isaiah Stewart. But that just popped into my mind when we were talking about moving back, because those guys are at 27. I would expect them to be in the mix.
A lot to consider, man. This thing is coming in fast and loose. But I think the bottom line, listen, I think the Knicks have a ton of options at play, man. I think the Knicks have a ton of options at play. Never a bad thing. This could be a conservative approach, as you said, but when you think about the free agent class of next year, the draft class of next year, this is probably the best route for them to pursue anyway. So,
Absolutely.
I think this is a good course to take, man.
The one thing I wondered, CP and JL, is the idea. And a lot of people talk about it. The idea that nobody wants to be the first guy here, right? As far as a star goes.
Right.
So you need to either trade for somebody. That's why, like the Westbrook trade, I don't know, some people scratch their heads, but there's something to be said about like Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook. Players talk, and like if those guys have a good experience here and they feel like it's an organization that is building things the right way, they'll talk to other players about it, and then that matters when it comes to courting other free agents. I know it probably sounds silly to some fans, but I know that matters because people around the league talk about it. So who's that first guy going to be? I mean, do you draft the guy and hope that that's your first guy and he's the guy to attract free agents? Because as we saw with Brooklyn last year, like you're not going to be able to just sell the garden. You're going to have to sell a roster that's like a piece away from winning. You need to sell that free agent on the idea that, hey, you're going to bring us over the top. So it's just that's the part of the equation that the Knicks have to figure out, and I don't know how they do it, but it has to happen.
Yeah. Channing Frye definitely made those same sentiments. So, it's tough, man. Never an easy way to build, but Ian, we definitely appreciate you taking the time out. It's a busy schedule for you. So, thanks again for coming through, man.
Fellas, my pleasure. My pleasure. I want to say one thing before I go.
Yep.
I always thought, like, man, I just want to be like a random caller one night. Just calling but something always gets in the way, whether it's my kids, my wife needs something. But I'm always seeing the tweet. I'm like, I'm going to call in one night. Just say what's up.
Always welcome, man. Just let Dave know it's Ian Begley, man. We'll put you on at the top, man. No worries.
VIP, cut the line.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys.
Ian, thanks again, man.
Oh, CP, we should mention we have you on tomorrow, right?
Yep. Tomorrow, 12 p.m. SNY, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, right?
Hey.
Yes, sir. Check us out. Noon live. We're going to be talking draft. We got Jonathan Wasserman, Bleacher Report, Chris Williamson, CP, myself. We'll be breaking it all down at noon tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Ian, thanks again, man. Get some sleep, bro.
Thank you, fellas. Take care.
All right. Take it easy. That was Ian Begley of SNY. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. We are at 1694 in the chat, Jails. I think we might have set a record. The Knicks fans are in here hot and hungry for some draft news. 1700 and climbing right now. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button for Ian Begley. Hit that thumbs up button for CP and J Ellis. We in here working. We working, Jails. We working. I don't know how much the Knicks are working on moves. Well, we'll see what happens.
They ain't make a move yet, CP.
Yeah,
they ain't make a move yet.
Not yet, man. Not yet. Before we get to the calls, I just want to say this show is brought to you by my friends at Manscaped, J Ellis. And J Ellis, autumn is in the air. And Manscaped is here to ensure that you don't carve your pumpkins when you're grooming. By pumpkins, we actually mean your boys downstairs. And Manscaped is on a mission to change the way you approach caring for those pumpkins. And great news to all my fans in the UK, Canada, and Australia. Manscaped is now shipping to your location. And as I said, this is the Lawnmower 3.0, fellas. This is what you need to take care of those crown jewels. And nick-free, that's the most important thing to keep you safe. Keep your joints safe from nicks and harms. It's very lightweight, durable. You get extra battery life. It's wireless here. You get an LED light. And this is the Lawnmower 3.0. And for our viewers, J Ellis, if you go to manscaped.com, enter promo code Knicks, you'll get 20% off plus free shipping on your total purchase. 20% off plus free shipping on your total purchase. Go to manscaped.com and enter promo code Knicks. Exactly. All right, let's before I get J Ellis back on the screen, let's get to the phones. Let's hear from my guy, J Ellis.
Okay.
Ron Cleveland in the building. What's going on, Ron?
Man.
Ron, what's good, bro?
CP, J Ellis. What's up, fellas?
What up, man?
Ron, long time, man. How you been, bro? How's everything going?
Man, hey, I've been doing fine, man. You know what I mean? Sticking to my workout regimen, man. I'm at about 168, 167. Good. You know, down from almost 200 pounds and stuff. So, hey, feeling good, man. Hey, man, I'm telling you, I've been trying to stay away from calling in, man. I said I'm going to wait till this thing get a little bit closer before I call. You know, I've been having all kind of thoughts with all these rumors flying out here. But I'm going to tell you all like this, man. That Russell Westbrook deal, initially I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and just cook this thing. Just let this thing rock with our youngsters that we draft and stuff. But if Russell Westbrook coming available, man, let's be real. Let's just be real.
He wants some jails.
Think about what Russell Westbrook did with OKC after KD left. I'm not looking at what he did with Houston, because playing with James Harden, you ain't going to be playing. He going to just be playing with himself with that ball.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough fit. That was going to be a tough fit.
I don't look at Russell Westbrook that year with Houston. I look more so at what he did with OKC. A bunch of no-name players, a bunch of young players. You know what I mean? So I look at us, you got a bunch of young players. But the thing is with Russell Westbrook, and the reason why I think it would be a great trade to get him, granted that we don't have to give up too much. The thing about Russell Westbrook, you know he coming to play every night. We ain't going to ever get on here after the game and be like, oh, he didn't play hard. You know what I mean? We never going to have to worry about that. And another thing, what I love about the kid is the kid is going to be a mirror image of the coach. And anytime that you got a coach and his star playing lockstep with the same kind of mindset, that's a recipe for a win. It's like a coach and a quarterback. If you got a good coach and you got a good quarterback, you got a chance to win. We got a chance to make the playoffs if we get Russell Westbrook. And let's just be real also. Who in this draft is better than Russell Westbrook right now?
Yeah.
I answer for you, nobody. You remember the guy, 2 straight seasons of being a triple-double machine, passing the ball. So the thing is, and this is my roster that I'm envisioning.
Yeah, what do you think?
If we get the ripple effect, you get Russell Westbrook, CP J Ellis. Now you sending a shout out, say, hey, we gonna go for the win. You got the right coach in mind. So you got Russell Westbrook. We go out. If we can draft Obi Toppin at 8, that's gonna open him up with Russell Westbrook. RJ gonna benefit from him. Mitch definitely gonna benefit from him. And you know what else that's gonna do if we get Obi Toppin? Who the one player everybody been screaming about? Let's get out of New York. Let's drive him across the Hudson. Julius Randle is gone.
All right, so what's your price? What's your price, Ron? What's your price? Julius and who? Who are you giving up for Westbrook?
That's the Houston one. Houston want a young player. Julius Randle is only 25. You send him, and DSJ, you pack both them boys up. Let both them boys go to Houston for Russell Westbrook, and we rock out. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking at, man. I want Russell Westbrook. I want him. I'm telling you right now, and we won't be sorry if we get that guy, man. We will not be sorry. I'm telling you right now.
Appreciate the call,
playoffs with him.
Appreciate the call. Listen, it's certainly possible, J Ellis, right? We're not talking about a scrub here, right? I think some of the haters get a little bit too rambunctious when talking about Westbrook. Yes, shooting numbers aren't good. Multiple knee surgeries, getting older, relies on his athleticism. What happens when the explosion's not there and the jumpers aren't falling, right? But then you could look on the flip side, absolute dog. The triple doubles, the success. You know, he kept OKC competitive. You know, during that stretch without KD, MVP season. There's a lot of positives to Westbrook. $50 million, J Ellis, is not one of them. When at one point he's gonna account for 40% of your cap. And shout out to Schwinny. Schwinny had mentioned that today on Twitter. It's a tough call.
Tough call for me, man. I saw Channing Frye say it. I heard Alan Hahn say it.
Yeah.
I heard Ian say it.
Adamant. They were adamant.
I'm still not convinced. I'm sorry. I'm still not convinced. I can't fathom. I just can't fathom Russell Westbrook having the ball in his hands so much to the point where we still don't get to see RJ handle the ball in end game situation and see what he can do. Like the game the game CP where we did a live game with the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
Where RJ had the ball in his hand last possession and he brought it home for us. You remember that feeling? The fans were nuts. Like, we finally got to see him take the shot for the first time ever, and it felt good. We still don't know if he can do that on a consistent basis. And if Russell Westbrook is here, we still won't know for 3 more years. And by the time Russell Westbrook's contract expires, it'll be time to figure out if we're going to pay RJ. And by that time, we won't even know if he can do that long term unless Russell Westbrook is injured.
Agreed.
And then we'll find out then for 10 games or whatever until he comes back.
Listen, my thing is this. For all the reasons that everybody, names for bringing on Westbrook, to me, that move should have been for Chris Paul. Simple and plain. That's the move that you make to elevate your team and make your young guys better. Not to say that Brody can't, but Chris Paul would have been a better fit here, period. And I would have been able to live with a Chris Paul trade had they made it. And, even though I wouldn't want to necessarily give up the young pieces, I can understand it because Chris Paul, he's a team changer. He's a team changer. He's like LeBron, but less so. He's a team changer. I saw something where he's raising the Phoenix's playoff potential now to by 37%.
Has to.
Off the rip. That's CP3. That's the CP3 effect. So let's see. But at the same time, let's be real. I think the Knicks are approaching this in a good way. We're not desperate for Russell Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? And they should not be. And they should not be looking to gamble on their future assets to bring Westbrook here for feel good. They'll be competitive. They'll make the 8th seed. I think we got to dial that back a little bit.
Absolutely. I saw something earlier today where the Knicks said they might sort of kind of maybe think about offering a late Dallas pick. Maybe. Yeah, no. For Russell Westbrook. They still wasn't really sure if they would do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I like that approach. I mean, granted, I don't even like that we're engaging Russell Westbrook, to be honest.
I told you when it first started that I still think they should listen. But I think it should be something where they should be compensated for taking on that money.
I feel you. I understand
that. Point blank.
I just like that. I just like that we're finally kind of standing in our power. I like that. I like we're not coming off as the desperate girl who's just trying to get I like that. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. So to everybody in the chat, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. We're at almost 2,000 J Ellis creeping in between Knicks Fan TV, Nick of Time Show, and Facebook. Run it up. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Hit that like button. Let's get to the phones. Let's see who's here. Who we got? Oh, we got to hear from my guy, J Ellis.
Oh.
Jay from Florida in the building. Jay, what's going on, bro?
Yo, run it up, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button for your boys. Run it up. Oh, listen, I've been seeing on Nick Twitter all day, how come we ain't making no trades? they ain't doing nothing. It feel like Steve Mills and Scott Perry still running the team. What's going on? Why we ain't got, bro? You think these guys is coming in to get fired like the rest of the last 10 GMs and presidents? You think they're going to make the same stupid mistakes trading for Antonio McDyess and Steve Francis and all these cats that's washed up when they get to the Knicks? No. It's the patient approach. We got the best draft in 10 years happening in 6 months. This is an abbreviated season, right? We start December. In June, we right back to the draft again. We got Kay Cunningham and B.J. Boston, all these nasty wings and point guards coming out. Mm-hmm. They're not stupid. They're not going to blow off the cap when they got the best free agent class coming up for 2021. They got the best draft coming up for 2021. Knicks fans got to chill. Westbrook is not it. Halliburton definitely ain't it. Right now, I'm holding out for Obi. If the Bulls,
that's the pick.
I'm hoping the Bulls pick Patrick Williams or Denny or Halliburton so we can get Obi falling to the Knicks at 8. We run out Obi and RJ this year. We signed DJ Augustine or Jeff Teague or something like that to run point guard. Let's tank. Hopefully we get a top 5 pick. Be right back at them with 2 or 3 picks next year. We good. We in the best situation we've been in 20 years. Knicks fan got to chill, let things fall into place, let Leon cook. Leon is no fool. With one thing we've learned over the last 24 hours, this front office is no fool. They're not going to make a crazy move just to make us happy. So no Westbrook. I seen Gordon Hayward. Definitely not no Gordon Hayward. Nothing trash. No Halliburton. Let's go play Obi. Let's run RJ. Give him the ball. Let's get Mitch to play over 25 minutes a game, and let's run it up for 2021.
Let's
Be
get it.
patient. The season's going to fly by. June, we right back at it. Draft again. We get a blue chip prospect, and we in the game 2022. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Jay from Florida drops the mic. J
I like
Ellis.
that. I like that.
So he's going with Obi.
I like Obi.
Who you like right now? J Ellis at 8 right now.
I like Obi. You know, I'm Team Kira for sure.
Yeah,
I am definitely Team Kira. I'm driving that boat, but I would be very happy with Obi, man. Obi is a guy who I just feel like him and Mitch together are a really, really nice fit. I can see him passing the Mitch from the 3-point line. I can see him dropping 20. Like, it's a legit score, and I feel like we'll be even more motivated to move Julius Randle at that point because we have somebody who can kind of fill his shoes, but better. Because he actually likes to pass the ball, this Obi Toppin guy. So
I'm looking at it as I think Cleveland is going to be telling on whether they go for Obi. They've been linked to a wing for a while. You've seen a lot of Okoro there. You've seen a lot of Denny there as well. I think if he gets past Cleveland, then I think the next level is the Hawks.
Right.
And who knows what they do? Do they trade for Hayward with that 6th pick? Hawks getting aggressive out there. They trying to put something competitive out on the court. So I think it's between Cleveland and the Hawks. If he gets past there, he could be there staring at the Knicks at 8. You know, what do you guys in the chat think? What do you guys think? If Obi's there at 8, do you take him? And throw your number 8 pick in the chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking. The chat is going crazy, JL, so I had to throw the slow-mo on, and it's still going crazy. But we're creeping in 1835, JL, so we're breaking records tonight.
Okay.
CP J Ellis, #1 show for the fans, by the fans. Make no mistake. This is what we do. Salute to Ian Begley for coming through. Always appreciate the insight. Tomorrow night, just to let you guys know, tomorrow night will be our draft special. Join us at 8 p.m. Eastern. CP J Ellis. We got my guy Pierre from House of Highlights. We have Spencer Perlman, NBA scout. He was with the Suns last year. We have NBA draft junkies, Rafael Barlow. We have Corey Talibo, the Hardwood Herald, coming through. So we got a lot of guys that's going to be able to break down these prospects. And we're going to have some giveaways as well. It's going to be great. So make sure you guys tune in, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and tune in.
Facts.
Let's get go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, too, my thing is, too, if we do end up getting Obi, that means we're going to miss out on a Kira. So I still would want a point guard at that point. So I would try to still move up. I would package our 27.
Drag it up.
Yep. I'll package our 27 with something, whether it be DSJ, Elfrid Payton, something.
Something.
To move up and get like a Malachi or something.
Yeah,
and then
I would like to get Flint. I would definitely like to get that Flint action going. Let's keep it in Florida. Let's go to Tampa. Jose's with us. Jose, how you feeling, bro?
Feeling good. Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Good, man. What's going on?
It's been a while. And you have had some great shows. You guys doing a great job. I mean, we've been neglected from basketball, and you guys have, filled
it's
that
been
void
a long time.
some way that, anyway, here's my point. Number one, I don't think Westbrook is gonna come for a package like it's been suggested. I think Houston have a history always, trying to remain competitive. I think based on my experience, like I remember in finals in '94, there were tickets left for the 7th game of the finals. So I know, I think, I may be wrong, but Houston needs have a competitive team so that they can, so they need to they can put the fans on the fence. So I think they will go for somebody established.
More established, right?
Um,
Okay. All right.
I hope it happens. You know, if we get that package of Dennis Smith Jr. and Julius Randle and perhaps one pick for that, that'll be great.
Yeah.
I'll be all for Westbrook, and then maybe get somebody else in free agency, and we are on our way back.
Okay. Appreciate the call, Jose. You have one more question? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead with your question.
For the draft, I like Obi and Killian if they're available in 8, but if they're not, I think our best play is to move down to the 14. If we can get those extra picks from Boston, that'll be great.
Yeah,
get some assets because at 14 there's some guys there that will be good fits for us. We have here. We have Halliburton. You got Sadiq Bey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to reach. I love Sadiq Bey. I think he'll be a great fit, but I don't want to reach with the 8. Put too much pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
The expectations will be too much. And there's a couple more guys there. Okoro, Devin Vassell. So one of those guys will be there at 14, I believe.
Okay.
And also another guy that I like, Jalen Smith, British athlete from Maryland. I like him. So, I think that will be our best play.
All right. Appreciate the call, man. We got a lot of calls in the queue, so we're going to ask the callers, keep it short, 1 point, and keep it moving. I want to make sure that we get to as many as we can. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys, everybody in the chat. If you guys are new in the chat, leave us a hashtag new, and we will shout you guys out. Wave Chappelle in the chat is looking for the phone number. The phone number is 657-383-1509. It's right there on the bottom left-hand corner. Right there on the bottom left-hand corner. Call in, get your point across, and we will get to your points. All right, let's hear from my guy Dan from Long Island, J Ellis. We haven't heard from Dan in a minute. Dan, how you doing, bro?
What's good, fellas? I haven't been on, but I've been watching. You guys doing a great job, so keep it up. This is an amazing channel. Listen, guys, here's my fan. Everybody's barking all night here. Here's the reality. Tomorrow night, it's time for us to find our Spider Mitchell in this draft. In other words,
I hope so,
it's time to make – I don't care who they take. They just better work out. Okay, I don't want a Kevin Knox. I don't want a kid who's going to take 6 years to get ready. I want an NBA-ready play tomorrow night, and it's up to these guys to find them. And I'm glad that Kenny Payne is with us, so Calipari can't put any more tricks on us by talking up these Kentucky guys. I'm hoping that tomorrow night we make the picks that will, may not be flashy tomorrow night, but that we'll be saying in May, hey, those were some good picks. That's my hope. So whether we trade back to get more picks, whether we trade up, that's what Leon Rose is here to do, right? At the end of the day, though, something has to work out.
Yeah,
it's our turn to get some surprises. We need more Mitches, more Mitchell Robinsons. That's what we need more of, and less, in my opinion, Kevin Knox. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night, fellas, and keep up the good work. I'm enjoying the show. Right?
Appreciate you, Dan. Appreciate you, Dan. Salute to everybody in LI. Yeah, J Ellis. I mean, look, I think Leon's here to get the stars, right? But at the same time, I think they are also trying to prepare for a development path as well. And so, listen, they're trying to sell you on Johnny Bryant. They're trying to sell you on Kenny Payne and what Woodson could do and their impact on the young guys. Let's see it.
Yeah, it's a decent path as long as they keep doing what they're doing and not rush and force things. If you're not rushing and force things, if things unfold, they unfold. But if not, stay the course and develop these young guys. And I think that's the path that we should take. And I think that's what we're doing right now.
That's a fact. I want to shout out J Ellis, Rob Chapp. He's team #new. Shout out Rob Chapp. Want to shout out, let's see who else is team #new. Alex Lomoro, team #new. Shout out Aaron Gillard, Avery Samarat, team #new. Salute to you guys. Who you got in your chat, Jales?
Yeah, I shout out to SK, #new. Shout out to Hot Dogs too, #new. And also shout out to the R who sent a super chat. It says we need to be patient, trade down and get Kira, mini Ja Morant.
I'm not sure if that's a lofty expectation, but
Right.
Kira certainly has some skill sets.
Rick, you ain't new.
Like.
#new. What are you talking about, Rick?
Shout out Clarence C, Charles Rutenberg Realties #new. Rayman K, what's going on? Team #new. Terrence Hines, Afro D Jedi, what's going on? Salute to everybody in Virginia. I see Richmond in here. 757, what's going on?
Okay.
A lot of people checking in. Justin Archer, team #new. It's a lot of people, man. Welcome to everybody. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel as well. Definitely make sure you do that. As Ian Begley also said, tomorrow night, 12 p.m. Eastern, I'll be joining Ian, Jonathan Washman of Bleacher Report, and Chris Williamson of SNY for Ian's show, The Putback. So make sure you guys check that out. Doing our draft special. I'll send out the YouTube link on my community feed, Twitter, Instagram as well. Make sure we got to bring the chat over to SNY and make sure that you guys rep, man. So looking forward to that one as well.
Facts.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, nothing after that. I'll be tuning in. And shout out to Dylan Brent too, #new. I see you, bro.
Dylan, appreciate it, man. I see a lot of super chats coming in as well. I'm definitely gonna read those before the end of the night. Make sure we don't forget. All right, back to the phones. Ari in the building. Ari, what's going on, bro? How you feeling?
Oh man, CP was J Ellis. What's going on, guys?
How you feeling?
Oh my God, this Harden to the Nets and this Brody Boogie stuff is driving me absolutely crazy right now. It's been a rough day. But Dan from LI, first of all, awesome call. Awesome call.
That's my guy.
If you're at the 8th pick, there's gonna be at least 2 or 3 guys who are gonna end up being all-stars or borderline all-star players after 8 in this draft. And we always miss in the lottery, always. And I agree with Dan. Like, we're not getting paid to make these picks, right? We don't watch the games as close as the front office does. It's their responsibility as being in the front office to make the right pick. So whoever they pick, it needs to work out. And I agree with Dan 100%. And with regards to Jay from Florida, that was a flawless call. Like, everybody wants the Knicks to make moves, right? They're like we're the Knicks, all right? The less moves we make, the better. Let's be honest. Like, we haven't been like making the right moves a lot, right? So, not making the wrong move is making a right move, in my opinion. So I agree with Jay. On his points. I like Obi Toppin. I would take Obi Toppin. I'd take Kyra Lewis too. Take Devin Vassell. I don't want Okoro because we need someone to shoot. And and another thing quickly, I don't think we should be getting players to fit Thibodeau's system. We should get the best talent, right? We should draft the best talent and have Thibodeau figure it out. That's what we should do. We shouldn't be getting system guys. And the last thing I want to say real quick is that this Russell Westbrook talk needs to stop, man. This is scaring me, dude. I can't. Like, Ron is an OG. He's Mount Rushmore callers. He could sit at my table any day. But that was a bad take, Ron. Sorry, man. But let me explain something to you. So anyone who likes Russell Westbrook to pick up Russell Westbrook, what is the end game with this guy? Like, dude, I'm not trying to be an 8 seed. I'm not trying to be a 7 seed. I'm not trying to be a 6 seed. I'm not trying to get swept by the Nets, okay? Who are you going to pair this guy with?
Yeah.
He couldn't win with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant doesn't want to play with him. Couldn't win with James Harden. Nobody wants to play with him. Paul George doesn't want to play with him. What's the plan? You're going to get Russell Westbrook, trade your assets, and get who? Jason Tatum? Anybody. It's not going to work. Unless it's LeBron James, you cannot pair anyone with Russell Westbrook because he is the system. He needs the ball in his hand. And as long as he's on the team taking 40% of the cap, you can't pair him with anyone. There's no end game. You're not building to anything. You're just going to end up at 8 seed and, like Jay said, not get a lottery pick. It's a terrible idea. For that price, you could get 3 really good. You could get VanVleet, Jeremy Grant, and Joe Harris probably for the same price that you can for Russell Westbrook. And at least they fit. Terrible, terrible, terrible thing. Last thing, just don't get Westbrook. Don't get Westbrook. Draft a good player and trade Randall, and let's pray that James Harden doesn't go to the Nets, and then I'm happy. That's my take.
Ari dropped the mic. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, listen, I hear what he's saying. There's some people in the chat and also people who ask me the same comment or the same question. A lot of the times, what do you see in RJ? Why do you guys hype RJ so much? And I think my counter to that, J Ellis, is that I don't think we hype RJ. At least I don't. I can speak for myself. I don't think I hype RJ. My perspective on the RJ thing, though, is that you spent the number 3 pick on this dude.
Yes.
That's an investment.
Yes.
You have to see that out. And so I don't think you help yourself by, bringing in players. He's just one player, but overall, I just don't think you help yourself by not putting complementary pieces in that lineup. You spent the number 3 pick on this kid, number 3. So as Ian Begley, who was just on, said, there was thoughts in the organization that they're going to consider the fit with him when bringing in any free agent for trade. And I think that is the best approach to go with. You spent the number 3 pick on him. Go ahead, bro.
Everything you said is exactly what I'm like, straight from my brain. Like, we need complementary pieces for a guy who was the number 3 pick on the draft that we invested in. Like, this is our biggest investment to date since KP. So we should be doing any and everything to put into our investment. We can't put pieces around him just because they have, the reputation of being an all-star. There has to be the correct fit. And if you don't have the correct fit, I just feel like we're doing ourselves a disservice.
Put it this way. Scott Perry's a lame duck GM, and he might not be back. Any GM that does that, when they pick this kid number 3 and they're bringing a bunch of pieces in a lineup that doesn't fit together, he's getting fired. Fast.
Exactly. This is why I didn't even think we should. This is why I'm saying I don't even think we should entertain this. Like, why are we even entertaining this? We know he doesn't fit, so why are we entertaining it? Just to say no later? Like, I don't.
Listen. Westbrook is a talent. That's why I say you still got to listen to a deal, bro. You can't just toss him aside like he's not a good player, because I still do think he is a good player, despite what Ari thinks and what some of the naysayers say.
I think he's a good player too.
Is he flawed? Yes, he's a highly flawed player, and there's a big risk, especially with that contract. But he's a good player, bro.
CP, if our team was a shooter at 2, a stretch 5, and then he's like, oh, we're going to bring in Russell Westbrook, and then maybe we draft Kira because he'll be able to learn under him or something because he's using his speed or like, and then I would be a lot more open to bringing them here because he will complement our players and their skill sets. But
I agree.
But at this point, the way our team is constructed, RJ can't shoot, Mitch can't shoot. They're practicing. Who knows if that skill comes together or not? But at this point, that's not what their strength is. So it doesn't make sense for me to bring in somebody who doesn't complement their strengths.
Let's get my guy Raw Hebrew Remnant in here. What's going on, bro?
CP, J Ellis, 2 of my favorite fellas. How you guys doing real quick? Number 1, no Westbrook. My problem is, forget how he played. My problem is, if I ever see this cat in street clothes on the sideline and we paying him $130 million, I'm pissed.
He can't get hurt. He can't get hurt.
Surgeries, and he's age 32. Just the risk of that happening, I don't want to deal with. So that's off. I'm going to tell you real quick, at 8-27, I'm not necessarily saying this because I want these guys, although I do want Devin Vassell. I'm thinking this is what's going to happen. If you see Cleveland pick Okoro, they've worked out Okoro and Obi Toppin. If you see them pick Okoro, we are drafting Obi Toppin. If you see them pick Obi Toppin, Atlanta either is going to take Okoro or Halliburton. We're probably going to draft Devin Vassell. We're going to go either Vassell or Okoro or Obi. I don't know what order. One of those 3 will go at 8. At 27, I'd like to get either Bane or Malachi Flynn, but I think they'll both be gone. But I think Jamias Ramsey will be there. I think Isaiah Stewart will be there. And I think Tyler Bay will be there. So we'll get one of those 3 guys. You got to remember, I know everybody's just tired of hearing this, but we got Tom Thibodeau as our coach. He's a defensive coach.
That's what I
He's
say.
looking first for defense.
That's what I say.
Okoro may not be able to shoot, but I'm trying to tell you, I think my boy Tibbs will pick him. So, but I think they'll pick Vassell before him because Vassell can shoot.
Right.
And, of
Right.
course, Obi is the best offensive player in the draft. He will get us 20 points a game. I'm not sure how Tibbs will feel about him because he can't play defense. But I'm thinking Obi, Vassell, or Okoro at 8. You're probably looking at Jamias Ramsey, Isaiah Stewart, or Tyler Bay at 27. That's my take. This is going to be lit tomorrow. Love all what you guys do.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Be sure to call in tomorrow, man. Thanks for the call, bro. Yeah, J Ellis, I think, despite the, the Kira Lewis, I think that, yes, they are high on him. I just have a feeling that they will prioritize Vassell, Okoro, and probably Halliburton as well over Kira Lewis. What do you think? What's your gut telling you right now?
My gut is telling me Okoro could be definitely because of the defense. Vassell for sure. They went out and visited the man at a church.
Yeah.
On some
They're serious about Vassell for sure.
So they're serious about Vassell. But so I do. Halliburton to me is the question. Halliburton to me is the question, man. I don't buy I seen your interview, CP, with the guys, and they all say that the lottery guys are high on Halliburton, but the Knicks haven't worked them out. They've worked out Kira. They had dinner with Kira, but they haven't done the same with Halliburton. So I'm not really sure if they have Hallie over Kira. Like I dispute that in my mind just because of the tea leaves from the news. So to me, it's like Obi, Vassell, Okoro might be it. To me, it might be Okoro Kira. I'm not sure.
Okay. Hey, we're going to find out tomorrow night. Make sure you guys tune in. Knicks Fan TV, Nick of Time show. It is going to be live. We got 6 panelists. Ton of giveaways as well. Live callers. You're going to hear from Raw Hebrew Remnant. You're going to hear from Jay from Florida. You're going to hear from Ari. All the usuals. It's going to be great. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button for you boys. We're at 736 likes on YouTube right now. Let's get up to 1,000. We can get up to 1,000. We'll do another giveaway tonight. Also, Knicks Fan TV Day, it should be circulating the giveaway form. It's gonna be me and Manscaped, we're gonna give away a Perfect Package 3.0. It's gonna be a gift package with the Lawnmower 3.0 as well. If you guess the Knicks pick at number 8, we'll enter you guys into a random drawing, and then we'll pick the winner tomorrow night as well. We'll also give away some snapbacks as well to some of the runners up. So it's gonna be a great night. Make sure you guys guess the pick, fill out the form as well. And it's gonna be a good one. J Ellis, you got something?
Just shout out to Super Chat guy. Shout out to Willie B. King. He says shout out to my favorite Knicks show on YouTube. Keep doing y'all thing. So shout out to you, Willie B. King.
Will from LI. Antonio Arellano says, "Where's Spike Lee?" I don't know where Spike's at, man. Spike's been dodging us, man. Spike's
why is he asking?
We've sent overtures to Mr. Lee's way. He hasn't accepted our invitation yet, but we'll continue to try. All right. Back to the phones. Remember, people, we got a ton of callers in here. I want to get to as many as we can. Just get your point across and keep it quick. Big V from Harlem. What's going on?
What's going on, people? It was really good. I'm here to talk about a very unpopular opinion, but Tyrese Halliburton absolutely locks people down. He absolutely went head-to-head with Kira and locked him down, up and down the court, washed him. You can't really put an option on his speed when you can't get past anybody. And Halliburton, his wingspan is huge. Kira can't do anything with him, and he can shoot. People talk about his handles. On the Knicks, RJ handles the ball a lot. And if he could pass out to Halliburton, that's cash all day, And a lot of people are not talking about it, but with no summer league, you're going to throw these kids into the fire. So everybody's going to be trashed in the beginning, And Halliburton seems to have a good head on his shoulders, and he can run the team,
Yeah.
I like this kid a lot. I wasn't sold on him in the beginning. I was actually very high on Kira, but Halliburton is really beginning to grow on me, Thank you for everything y'all
Appreciate
doing,
it.
man. Peace out. And keep the building. I'll be there at 12 noon tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Watching, But thank you very much. Have a good
Yes,
night,
sir.
fellas.
Thank you, bro.
Right.
Thank you, Big V. Remember, that's tomorrow's show is 12 noon on SNY's YouTube channel, SNY, at 12 noon. And then our draft show, J Ellis, will be on at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So it's going to be action-packed. Action-packed. All right, couple more. Terrence from Brooklyn, what's going on, bro?
Yo, what's
Yep.
up, y'all?
What's up, bro? How you feeling?
Happy to be on. Good. I just want to talk about the draft. I really do like Kira. I think when you can shoot like he can shoot, and you ran as much pick and roll as he did with a pro style coach, I really think he could come in and just be a spark plug for us and really give RJ a 1-2 punch. And then at 27, I know a lot of people not talking about him, but this kid Isaiah Joe out of Arkansas, he could really shoot it 6'5" with a 6'10" wingspan. I really think he could be an interesting piece for us at 27. It might be a little high for him, but we won't get him at 30 in the 30s. So I really think, that might be a guy we should take a chance on.
Yeah.
And if not, Tillman, I think he's a solid guy. And like we was talking about with no training camp and everything, I think he could step in and really take those Julius Randle minutes if we can get rid of Julius. So I'm all for Kara. I really think that he could grow into a really special player, because I look at him and I see the guy from the Kings, but with a better jump shot coming in, De'Aaron Fox. He's probably not as good a passer, but he can really move and he can shoot a little better than De'Aaron did coming in. So I really think Kara could be special. And I watched that game against Halliburton. Iowa State was just a little better team, and they didn't really go head-to-head as often as people make it seem. It wasn't like he was just locking him down the whole game. Like, I literally watched the highlights. It really wasn't that. But Kerry did have, not his best game. But if you look at it, he had a lot of responsibility as the only playmaker on that team, and then still did so much good stuff off the ball, like really cutting and spot up and shoot. And I think that will help playing with RJ, who we still do want to do some playmaking and things like that. So, I don't know. I think Kira, and like I'm telling you, guys should look at Isaiah Joe. I really think he could be a steal late in his draft as somebody who could come in and step in and be a shooter for us and possibly play, a little bit of 3 and 2, So that's it for me. I love this chat. It's only my second live chat, but I'm going to definitely be tuning in more. You guys are awesome.
Appreciate it, Terrence. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one, bro.
Good call, Terrence.
Yeah, good call. And I think J Ellis, he mentioned Isaiah Joe and saying might be too high. I think what I've learned from Walt Perrin, especially their advanced scout, is that once you get past 8, I think all bets are off. I think they're gonna pick the guys that they like. Period. So I don't think to say one guy is too high at a certain point or not. I think if they like the guy, they rate him, they're gonna take him.
Absolutely.
I think, me and Tommy D were talking earlier. He's like, a lot of the media has their mock drafts and their projections. That's not necessarily what the teams feel. So, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the banter and back and forth is based off of, a lot of scouts projections, a lot of media projections, but the team's war room and their draft board can look completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
Outside of the top 3.
Exactly. It could be completely different. And it's just like, hey, if that's your guy and you want him, sometimes it's like don't even get cute. Sometimes.
Just go get him.
Just go get him. Because if that's your guy and you want him, the guy right behind you might be thinking the same thing.
That's a fact, man. Let's go to BK Burrow. Michael, what's going on, bro?
Hey, guys. I'm a first-time caller. Thanks for having me on the show.
All right.
How you doing, man? Thanks for calling in, bro.
Everybody's sleeping on Tyrese Maxey. I think Tyrese Maxey is going to be the steal of the draft. He's going to be one of the best players to come out of the draft. He's a guy who could shoot, he could pass, play defense. I think the Knicks are going to take him with Kenny Payne there. I think they're going to take him. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, certainly possible. We've heard that that they like him. I like him. I like Maxey. I like Maxey a lot. Again, do they go there at 8? Is he there at 27? Some people don't think so. But you could certainly see him being one of the guard prospects that they pick up, maybe if they trade back.
Yeah, like I don't know, like this is one of those funny drafts where everybody under 10 can surprise you because there's a lot of solid people here. There's a lot of solid people can sneak up on you. There's a lot from Maxey could look nice. RJ Hampton, they're saying his jump shot looks good all of a sudden, so he can look nice. Neesmith can shoot, so he can look like something. Like there's a lot of those guys. Tyrell Terry there's a lot of those guys that I wouldn't be surprised if you go, oh, that's a steal. Oh, that's a steal. Like that can happen all over the place.
Yeah, give me some shooters, man. 27, 38. If they can shoot it, bring them in. They can help. Straight up.
Exactly.
Simple and plain, man. I'm tired of looking like the New York Bricks, bro. I've been saying that for the longest.
Shoot, I'm not even gonna lie, CP. I was looking at Neesmith. I was looking at these shooters down there. I was like, man, give me all the picks because there's a lot of shooters in this. This is a nice little amount of shooters in these drafts, man.
Yeah.
That we could use.
That's a fact, man. Let's go to Far Rock. Gio, what's going on, man?
Yeah, how you doing, guys? Appreciate the show.
For sure, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to get a quick, if you guys want to entertain this, would you guys entertain Washington trading John Wall to the Knicks if it came with assets, like draft picks or anything like that?
No.
And also, would you entertain Isaiah Thomas deal since considering he got that surgery, he says he's 100%, and even if we draft a point guard, maybe you can groom him behind him, or even if we get a forward, we get that scoring guard we need if healthy. If not, it's a 1-year deal. He can move on. Appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, JL, I'm not going John Wall at all unless it's coming with like 5 first-round unprotected. Straight up, I'm not touching that at all. But there's some crazy rumor going on that Houston and Washington were talking a Wall for Westbrook swap, which was like, it was a Spider-Man meme. I'm looking at the Spider-Man meme where he's pointing to himself. I'm like, yo, what's going on? What is it? That made no sense, bro.
Man, listen. It makes no sense, but it makes sense at the same time. It makes no sense. It makes sense at the same time.
Crazy.
I don't understand it either, but I definitely wouldn't do it. That contract is atrocious. Atrocious. Major injury.
I'm good.
No,
I'm good. I'm good on John Wall, man. He did his days. Who's other? Isaiah Thomas. Nah, Isaiah Thomas is washed, man. Let's forget that. He hasn't been good in 5 years, bro.
Yeah, and he was talking smack about the Knicks.
He had a Cinderella run in 5 years. Listen, he had a good run, but I'll pass on that. But good call, Gio. I'm not sure the chat is welcoming you back into the chat, but you're always welcome to call in, man. The chat is on fire tonight, Jails. You know what I'm saying? The chat is on fire. Let's hear from my guy Paul out in LA. Paul, what's going on, man? This Paul Quick?
Yo, what's up, fellas? Yeah, man. What's going on?
Yes, sir. What's good, my bro? How you doing?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to you guys in a minute, man. But, great shows as always, man. I want to talk about a guy that I haven't really heard much until just a minute ago. You mentioned Naismith. Now, clearly this guy feels a need because he's a dead-eye shooter. And if the Knicks need anything, man, they need guys that can actually shoot. Now, I know they say his defense needs work or whatever like that, but they got good coaches there to coach him up on defensive end. Get a guy that actually feels a need, who doesn't duplicate something you already have, can jump right in. He might even be able to start, man. He's 6'6", got a nice wingspan. I think he's 6'6", 215. He can play shooting guard.
Yeah.
Move RJ to the 3. Hopefully, I think that's a better spot for him anyway. I think Naismith would be awesome, man. Maybe that's high for him at 8, but he has an elite skill, and I'm good with that. What do you guys think?
You can never pass up elite shooting, JL. So you can never pass up elite shooting, especially in this league and especially for the Knicks. Some people think 8 is a little too high for a specialty player in that regard, especially with so many needs that the Knicks have. But again, they go back. I wouldn't mind it at all. I could see Phoenix being a good fit for him, or one of the wings going to Phoenix.
Yeah, he's one of those players. He's a good fit wherever. Like, there's no team in the NBA who's like knockdown shooter, not a good fit. Now he'll be a good fit anywhere.
Yeah.
Like CP said, 8 might be a little bit too high. I would rather even for Sell, he can give you more on both ends of the court. even though he's not as crazy as a shooter as Neesmith is. But I like Vassell over Neesmith. But I wouldn't be upset if Neesmith was on the Knicks. I know that.
I think what a lot of scouts are saying about Vassell is, yes, he's more of a stationary catch and shoot guy, but they do see a little bit of upside in his shot creation potential based on his footwork and things of that nature. Obviously, he's going to give you defense. Leonard Hamilton's boys, Florida State. That's a given. That's a staple that you're going to get from them. And so Vassell, at 8 is probably a bit more attractive than a Neesmith because, yes, he may not give you as much volume as Neesmith from 3, but you're going to get defense for sure. Right. And then maybe you can coach him up and get a little bit more shot creation than maybe a Neesmith. So,
or maybe even some off ball shooting. That would be nice.
Yeah. One question for you, J Ellis. Were you surprised they didn't get in the Bogdanovic sweepstakes? I should have asked this to Begley, but we were coming close.
Oh yeah.
Were you interested in Bogdan?
Absolutely was interested in Bogdan. Absolutely. A guy who's a 3-point shooter, another playmaker, not a bad defender. He was on the board with Joe Harris for sure. So I was upset to see him go so early to the Bucks.
Yeah.
And it was like, who did it? I'm shocked. I'm shocked that happened.
Yeah, the Bucks package had included DiVincenzo,
okay.
And a couple other players. I would have loved to have gotten involved in these sweepstakes for sure. I would have definitely loved to have gotten involved in the Bogdanovic sweepstakes, but great move for the Bucks, man. The Bucks made 2 outstanding moves last night to put themselves right back in it in getting Drew Holiday and Bogdanovic. That's going to be a filthy lineup to contend with. And you finally seeing these 2 guys with something to play for, with the freak who's going to be extra motivated. Solid.
Yeah, it just puts so much more pressure on getting another shooter here like Joe Harris, who seems, like Ian said, poised to stay with Brooklyn or maybe even go to Atlanta, because it just seems like New York right now, we're being a little bit more conservative with the money we're giving away. And it just looks like Joe Harris right now wants that bag.
Yeah.
So it seems like we're going to miss out on him too. So it'll be interesting seeing what other options are out there. I know Justin Holiday was an option.
Yeah.
Before that was mentioned by Begley himself. Or they might shoot. Well, the chances of Dot staying might get a little higher now that's happened.
That would be cool. Free Dot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So upside for the Dot fans.
Somebody in the chat said, what do you think about trading for Kuzma? I mean, that would be like, if on my list of priorities, that would be like December 22nd. Like, Kuzma's still out there. Hey, I'll toss him a little 2nd round pick or something, but I'm not too crazy about Kuzma. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm not. 6 p.m. When's free agency? Friday 6 p.m.
Friday 6. Friday.
Yeah, 6. I'm not calling him first.
I'm not calling on Kuzma first. But good dude though. Good dude. Yeah, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. We're still hovering around 1680 on Knicks Fan TV. CP from Knicks Fan TV. My man J Ellis from Nick of Time Show on the other side. This is number 1 show for the fans by the fans. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Subscribe to the channel. Welcome Jordan Mills to the family. He just subscribed. Make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button. It's free. Knicks Fan TV, Nick of Time Show. Make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe. Also, remember these shows are available in audio podcast format. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, whatever your podcast platform of choice is, we are there, and you can always catch these episodes. No reason to miss anything, whether it's video or audio. We got you guys covered. All right, J Ellis, a couple more calls before we get out of here. It's a good show, though. Salute to Ian Begley for coming through. All right, who else we want to hear from? Nick in Albany, what's going on, Nick?
What's going on, fellas?
How you feeling, bro?
Good, man. I just want to kind of give you guys my realistic, ideal starting lineup if things, go pretty good. I'm hoping that we get Kyber in the draft at 8, and then I don't know what's going to happen with Malik Beasley. He's got some stuff going on, but if we could snag him for shooting guard, maybe we can get him a little cheaper with everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I know you got RJ at 3, and then if we could get the Rooster back home, that would be wild. And then obviously Mitch at the 5, and then maybe Randall can spin his way out of town, and we can get a backup power forward, or we could draft Isaiah Stewart.
All right.
And the last thing I want to say is I don't really care if Harden goes to the Nets because they ain't never winning anything. So that's all.
I like that. Appreciate it, Nick. A little silver lining by Nick there. Keeping it a buck. Keeping it a buck. I like that lineup, man. What do you guys think in the chat of that lineup? You got Kira at the 1, Malik Beasley at the 2.
I like that.
After they bail him out, Dolan goes and bails him out of central booking. You know what I'm saying? And then you got RJ at the 3, Danilo at the 4. Mitch at the 5. That'd be a nice squad.
I like it, CP. I'm sold.
Yeah.
I
think Danilo ends up in Miami, though. I think the rich get richer. I think he goes to Miami.
Yeah.
Miami or the Lakers.
We might have a shot with Malik with the Timberwolves, not having a whole lot of cap.
Yeah.
It seems like they're set on drafting their pick.
Yeah.
Which is, is going to eat up even more cap because that first pick costs more money.
Mm-hmm.
So they might be less willing to match Malik.
Shout out. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so there might be a chance to kind of steal a restricted free agent.
Yeah, I was thinking if they go Edwards at 1.
Right.
Does Beasley shake out? And again, he's got to clear that case. He's a little occupied with J Ellis
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little messy.
Yeah, so it's a little messy. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. All right, a couple more calls, and we will wrap up because we got another big show tomorrow. All right, let's go to we're gonna go to David, Ark, and JJ, and then we're gonna wrap. David, what's going on? David,
hello?
Yo, what's going on, bro? Just turn your radio down, turn your TV down.
Oh. Hello, guys. CP, J Ellis with the Knicks Nation and the chat. Just a quick question. In terms of the second round, are we prioritizing centers or are we prioritizing shooting? Because the way I'm thinking of it, Mitchell Robinson needs some help, especially because we got, Taj Gibson on that partial guarantee. And, I feel that Mitchell Robinson needs that help, and I feel that Isaiah Stewart is the ideal pick in the second round. But I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, and Stewart, appreciate the call, man. And Stewart's high on the Knicks. He was a Ewing fan, JL said. He was a Ewing fan back in the day. So maybe he was studying tape on Patrick. But, I do think they should address the backup center, whether it's free agency or if they see a player like that in the draft, go get him. Go get him if you like that player. But, whether it's 27 or 38, again, you're looking to see if you can get a rotation player. And that's not a guarantee, J Ellis. That is not a guarantee. I saw some crazy stat that was like, these bottom of the first round players, I think only like 11% crack a rotation. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a lock by any stretch.
Yeah, it's funny because I was giving his stats and he was saying only like under 30% of top 10 picks actually end up being all-stars.
Yeah, well, yeah, that we know. That is definitely slim pickings. This was David Locke. Let me see what he had to say. David Locke says, what is that statistic? So to everybody in the chat, hit that thumbs up button for you boys.
Well, I feel like we're going to prioritize shooting at this point. I think Tom Thibodeau is still, Taj Gibson is still here, and I feel like he's going to be here, and that's a Tom Thibodeau guy. So as long as we have Mitch and Taj, I don't feel like the Knicks are super pressed for another center right now. So even if we do draft one, maybe it'll be third round or G League or something like that. But I feel like we're going to prioritize shooting and point guards. That's what I'm thinking.
David Locke. This is David Locke from Locked On Sports. He said he was commenting on the Drew Holiday trade and how that netted 5 picks. He said that over a year, 48% of picks from 11 to 30 in the first round don't become regular rotation players.
Woo, 48%. Jesus.
So,
what's the number again? From 11 to
30.
11 to 30, 48%.
48% don't become regular rotation players.
Okay, all right.
So again, when you down
Almost
there
50%,
27, 38. Listen, this is my ideal. They must hit on one. It'd be great to hit on two. It'd be outstanding to hit on all three. That's how I see it. You have to get one. Be great to get two.
Yeah.
And three would be lottery.
It's really how do you see perspective, CP 50-50. Or you see the glass half empty or half full? Like
yeah. That's it, man. All right, couple more calls, and then we will wrap. Let's go to Ark from White Plains. What's going on, man?
Hey, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
How you doing, bro?
Good. So I just wanted to give a quick rundown of what I think a good offseason would look like for us. So at 8, well, first of all, on the Westbrook stuff, I still think he's a great player, but at the end of the day, like, he's not the piece for us right now, right? I think he's more of a player that you get to bring you over the top rather than the first piece to try to make you competitive.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the draft goes, if we do end up getting Toppin, I think we should make a call to Utah and kick the tires on the guy in Utah.
Conley.
Not the guy, but Mike Conley. Right? Because the way I look at it is that he's getting $30 million. His contract expires at the end of this year. We need a point guard, and he can set guys up. He's willing to take a backseat role if he's asked to. Be a great leader in the locker room. Can play a little defense, can distribute. I think he fills a need for us. I think we could get him for like maybe, I don't know, Randall, Dennis Smith. I'm not sure if they're really trying to move on from him, but that would already cut off like $15 million off their cap. And you know that Spida is probably like looking at the situation. They're like, listen, you guys better start making some moves or else I'm going to get out of here. But so I think that'd be a great move for us. I'm not really sure about, 27 and what's going to go on with 38, but I wouldn't even be afraid to give up that 27th pick after that stat you just gave. So I think that could be a good situation for us. Curious what you guys think.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would love to have Conley here. I think he's if you're not gonna get CP3, you're not gonna get Westbrook. I think of the guys that are available, Conley would be ideal for this team. Conley would be ideal for this team. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens if Utah's interested. They just got a new owner. We'll see what his financials incentives are in terms of how he shapes up the roster, and we'll play it from there.
Yep. I think the other guy too that we should be looking at in the draft, two other guys, like, I don't know, no one's talking about Killian Hayes, a nice young player.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy that I think is a sleeper is RJ Hampton. I think he could play point too. And if you've seen some videos of his new shot form, I mean, it looks pretty clean. And that was a question mark with him. He's a freak athlete. I think he'd be real good for us.
Yeah, appreciate it. No, I think people are talking about Killian Hayes. Just some scouts think he's the best point guard in the draft, depending on who you ask. So we are. I don't think. Is he gonna be there? Is the question. Who knows? Yeah. He could be there. He could
be there too. He could be there too. We could be looking at Ovi. We could be at Killian. We could be looking at Vassell. Yeah.
With Hampton, I don't think they'll take him. But you're right. They are. He has improved his jump shot. My guy Rafael Barlow, NBA Draft Junkies, was down there with his camp and was there firsthand. Some of you guys saw that episode as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. JJ from Brooklyn, last call of the night. What's up, bro? How you feeling?
Yo, what's good, fellas? How you guys doing?
Good, man. Good, man. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks. So 2 quick points on the draft. I think it's cool if we I'm down to just take a wing at 8 because whether it's Vassell, Nate Smith is my guy, man. I would be really hyped if we got him at 8. We need that sniper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's that big of a reach. I don't think he's going to go much later than 8 anyway. So my thing is, because we could still get a point guard later on because we could trade up from 27. I think a couple of them will probably still be there later on, whether it's maybe a Maxey or a Terry or I know everyone hates Cole Anthony. but I'd be fine getting him at like 19 or something in the trade up. And then on Westbrook, whatever you do, just don't trade for him. He's going to stunt RJ's growth. To me, he's just a guy who's happy getting his triple-double, regardless of whether they lose or not. And I don't want to be the AT and I don't want to be, Portland gets swept by the Nets or Milwaukee in the first round. All that's going to do is just hurt our draft position, especially in the draft as great as next year. So just keep building it slowly. Build it through the draft. Wait till next year, that great free agent class and that great draft. And, so that's it. Hopefully the Knicks just make us all happy tomorrow and enjoy the draft, guys.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, JJ. Appreciate everybody for tuning into all our draft coverage all year. We've been talking draft for damn near 9 months, J Ellis. And tomorrow it all comes to a head. What is it going to be for those New York Knicks? Hey, let's see, man. But this was a great show. Salute to Ian Begley for joining us for sure. Couple things before you guys get out of here as we wind down. Number one, tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, CP Ian Begley and a host of others, Jonathan Wasserman from Bleacher Report on SNY, The Putback, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Look out for the link. Follow Knicks Fan TV on Twitter, Instagram, or check the community page. I'll post a link to that video. Make sure you guys take the chat. Bring it over there, show some love, hit that thumbs up button for you boys and support Knicks Fan TV. And then later tomorrow night, it's going to be the NBA Draft live stream. CP, J Ellis, Pierre from House of Highlights, Bleacher Report, Rafael Barlow, the NBA Draft Junkies, Spencer Perlman, NBA Scout, Corey Tolliver, the Hardwood Herald, also an NBA Scout. It's going to be an action-packed show, bro. Action-packed show, J Ellis.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Go ahead and sign out, bro.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that lineup with Kira and Malik, and okay, yo, so yeah, I like that. All right, yo. So for all those, please follow me on youtube.com/Naked Show for some KOT episodes that we do for Dash Radio and ourselves. Also, you can listen to Naked Time Show on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Also, shout out to our bloggers. Coach Fritz has been pumping stuff out lately. You can check out our blog at thenakedtimeshow.com. And shout out to Knicks Fan TV Dave, too, who wrote a nice article on Kira Lewis. Shout out to you, Dave. You did a good job. And yeah, also follow me on all social media. That is the KOT Show on Twitter, the Naked Time Show on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook. That is all. Back to you, CP.
Yes, sir. Great job, JLs. Great job, Dave. All the mods. Keith Sinclair, Above the Rim, TM. All the mods. Definitely appreciate you guys. Rome, appreciate it. Apple Fanboy, appreciate it. And to all the fans out there, man, we broke the record tonight. Hey. Over 1,800 live and direct. Knicks Fan TV, Naked Time Show, Facebook, everywhere. Thank you for the support. Number one show for the fans, by the fans. If there's any better, you let us know. But we're going to put this show up there against the best of the best. So make sure you guys keep it locked. Action-packed week. Draft tomorrow, free agency Friday. I'm going to delay the Channing Frye interview until next week, just because it's a lot of content coming out right now. So I want to make sure we get it in at a time when things kind of slow down a little bit. So the Channing Frye interview will come out next week. But again, that was a great conversation as well. I can't wait to show you guys that. Let me salute the Super Chats that came in because they were a ton. Salute to everybody who supports us. Salute to Delsky. Appreciate it. Black Bolt, thanks for the super chat. Louis B, thank you for the super chat. He says awesome draft coverage. Brooklyn Students 73, thank you for the super chat. Michael Parker, number one fan of the show. He says salutes J Ellis, CP, the mods. Robert Paris, thank you for the super chat. For the Peace, a Mellow reunion. What are your thoughts? I say no thanks, but that's my guy. That's my guy. Not a Mellow hater, big Mellow fan. Just not here. Stay in Portland or go to LA is my thing. Zilla ZGM says Tyrell Terry. Yeah, definitely. Shout out Julian Tran, sent us Australian super chat. Blue Diamond Gem, thank you for the super chat. SB Gorilla, definitely appreciate it. Flashy, appreciate it, Flashy, $20 super chat. Kurt Cobain sends us a super chat, Jails, from up in there. We appreciate that, Kurt Cobain. Money Mark 71, thank you. He says no to Westbrook. Trellis Stepter, hit that thumbs up on for your boy. CPJL's great job. Kyra Lewis at 8 and wants to trade up for Desmond Bain. We got Above the Rim sends a super chat. He wants Obi, Tyrell Terry, and Vernon Carey. All right. Okay. Carlos Lisboa. He's looking for a trade down. Kenneth Lane, appreciate it. Chan De Niro, definitely appreciate it. Chico Fernandez sends a super chat. He said he's drinking some Chivas 18. He's the Chivas 18. He's going whiskey heavy, J Ellis. So the bottles are popping tomorrow night. Chico Fernandez is getting it in. Danny Thomas, he's definitely out on Westbrook. He says he wants to trade Randall for Buddy Hield, sign Joe Harris and Christian Wood, draft Kira, Jalen Smith, or Cassius Stanley at 27, or Turo at 38. All right, so Daniel's got pretty solid game plan there. I'm not too high on Buddy Hield at that point, but it wouldn't be terrible. Tatum 757, appreciate it. Gerard OV, appreciate it. He says take this money and buy a player. Lakers. He's a Laker fan, J Ellis, but felt bad for us. Omar Godinez says move up Kenny Wooten and Lamar Peters from the G League. Okay. All right. That's it, man. So yeah. 5 more likes to 900 on Knicks Fan TV. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Share these videos. Subscribe to the channel. And we will see you guys tomorrow night.
Yes.
Peace.